Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling what is honestly one of the most frustrating dilemmas in the entire fitness world. You know the drill, right? You put in the hours at the gym, you absolutely sweat it out, but then you look in the mirror and, well, the muscle definition just isn't there. You're stuck in that dreaded skinny fat zone. But hey, don't worry. Today, we're going to deconstruct this exact physique and give you the precise scientific blueprint to completely rebuild it, literally brick by brick. You look fine in clothes. Take the shirt off, and it's a different story. Man, let's be totally honest here, that hits home for a lot of guys. You might look absolutely fine in a nice, well-fitted t-shirt, but underneath, it's just an incredibly demoralizing place to be. But here's the good news, the really good news. Today, we're going to start building a completely new foundation for you. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our exact roadmap for today. Number 1, the skinny fat diagnosis. 2, the 2 major traps. 3, the body recomposition strategy. 4, nutrition and progressive overload. And 5, tracking and the timeline. Now, to fix any problem, we've got to diagnose it first, right? So, section 1, the skinny fat diagnosis. Are you dealing with the 4 undeniable signs? Let's find out. So, this diagnosis really boils down to 4 major red flags. First off, an undeniable softness exactly where hard muscles should be. Second, that stubborn, puffy fat you can literally grab right around your waist and lower back. You know, the kind that seemingly just refuses to budge no matter what you do. Third, zero visible muscle definition. We're talking no shoulder caps, no real arm shape, no distinct chest line. And fourth, shockingly low relative strength. Like, if you've been lifting consistently for a solid year and you still can't bench press your own body weight, that's a glaring signal right there. Now listen, if this sounds exactly like you, I need you to understand something absolutely crucial right now. The issue here is not your effort. Seriously, it's not. The issue is your core approach. Which brings us right to section 2, the 2 major traps. Why your current strategy is failing. We really need to expose this incredibly common cycle that keeps guys just spinning their wheels for years. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you feel so stuck. See, most guys just bounce back and forth between 2 disastrous extremes. First up is the bulking trap. Someone at the gym tells you to eat big to get big, right? So you force extra meals down, maybe excusing a few extra pizzas along the way, totally convinced that muscle is just going to magically appear. But guess what? It doesn't. Your waist just gets wider and a whole lot softer. Then, panicking, you swing completely the other way into the cutting trap. You aggressively slash your calories to get lean. But here's the fatal flaw with that. There's literally no muscle underneath to reveal. You just end up burning away what little muscle you do have right alongside the fat. So you go from soft to simply smaller and softer. It's crazy. Both of these paths completely ignore what your body actually needs. Oh, and we definitely can't ignore the secondary trap here. Endless cardio. So many guys out there believe extreme suffering is the only way out, right? So they stack these crazy long sprints and intense HIIT circuits right on top of their heavy lifting sessions. But doing all this without proper recovery, it totally tanks your energy, kills your workout quality, and actually prevents muscle growth. It literally just ends in total burnout after a few weeks, dumping you right back at square one. So, okay, if bulking fails, cutting fails, and endless cardio fails, what on earth is the answer? Well, let's move to section 3, the body recomposition strategy. This is the exact paradigm shift you need. Body recomposition is simply the process of building muscle and losing fat simultaneously. Yes, you heard that right, simultaneously. As a skinny fat guy, you actually have unique superpower right now. You have enough existing body fat that your body can legitimately use it as fuel, and you're new enough to proper training that your muscles are incredibly responsive to the right stimulus. It's like a perfect storm. This isn't some miserable bulk followed by an even more miserable cut. Nope, it's one single consistent phase tailored perfectly for your specific physique. So now that we know the strategy, we've got to actually execute it. Section 4 covers the literal architectural blueprint of this whole process: nutrition and progressive overload. These are the absolute non-negotiables for success. All right, let's talk hard numbers for a second. 10 to 15%. This is your exact slight calorie deficit sweet spot. Basically, you want to find your total daily energy expenditure, your TDE, using a quick online calculator. Easy enough. Then you just subtract 10 to 15% from that number. Why? Well, this narrow margin keeps your body in this perfect environment where fat is mobilized for energy, but muscle can still be built. But listen, because this margin is so precise, tracking your food is an absolute must, at least until you truly get a feel for your daily intake. So the really crucial point here is this next number, zero point 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. Protein is the absolute anchor of this entire blueprint. I mean, if we're rebuilding your physique brick by brick, protein is literally the brick. It protects your existing muscle while you're sitting in that slight calorie deficit, and it provides the raw material your body needs to build the new muscle. Honestly, without hitting this specific number, you're just dieting. But with it, you are recomposing.
Okay, let's move to the execution side of things and see how this actually translates to your time at the gym. See, eating right creates the environment, sure, but your training determines what actually happens inside that environment. Just doing random sets on random machines, that produces absolutely nothing. You've got to use progressive overload. First, increase the demand every single week. Add some weight, push out an extra rep, or just use cleaner execution. Second, you have to push your final working reps close to true failure. Seriously, growth does not happen in those easy, comfortable middle reps. No way. It happens in that final, ugly, face-crunching, grinding rep. And third, stick to a structured 3 to 4 day split. You have to do this so you can actually track your progress accurately over time.
And that brings us to our final, incredibly important section 5, tracking and the timeline. This is all about managing expectations and monitoring your real progress. So while training and nutrition are definitely the core here, your supporting daily habits are what determine if this whole system actually holds together. First thing, walk 7,000 to 10,000 steps every day. I'm not saying go out and sprint, just walk. It gives you this great low-impact calorie burn without racking up massive recovery debt. Second, you've got to sleep a minimum of 7 hours to regulate your testosterone and growth hormone. Seriously, if you shortchange your sleep, you are fighting a losing battle from the jump. And finally, chase consistency, not perfection. Trust me, 80% adherence maintained over 6 months, that builds a real physique. 3 weeks of 100% perfection followed by a huge crash, that builds absolutely nothing.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it completely changes the way we define progress. Here is the absolute biggest paradigm shift of all. The scale is a liar. It really is. Think about it. During a body recomposition, you're gaining dense muscle weight while simultaneously losing fluffy fat weight. Because of that, the scale might literally not move a single pound for weeks, completely tricking you into thinking you're failing. Don't fall for it. Instead, rely on highly reliable metrics. Are your lifting numbers trending up? Is your waist shrinking while your shoulders hold their size or even grow? Just take weekly photos in the exact same lighting. Those photos will reveal the truth that the scale is totally hiding from you. We also really need to manage your expectations with a realistic timeline here. Look, in weeks 1 and 2, you're not going to see magic. You'll just start to feel your strength and energy improve a bit. After about a month, you'll start to see some very subtle visual changes, maybe a slightly tighter waist. By month 3, okay, now you will finally see a noticeable difference in the mirror, and you'll definitely feel your shirts fitting tighter around the chest and shoulders. But guys, it's at that 6-month mark where the magic truly compounds and a completely different physique emerges. That's the sweet spot.
Which brings me to the defining question for you today. See, most guys abandon this whole process somewhere around month 2. They want 6-month results in 3 weeks, they wrongly assume the plan isn't working, and they just quit. The crazy part? The plan was working. They just stopped. So I have to ask you, are you gonna quit in month 2 just because the results aren't super dramatic yet? Or will you cultivate the patience to stick around for month 6 and actually see a completely different physique staring back at you? Seriously, stop trying random things in the gym. Execute this blueprint, stay totally consistent, and watch that skinny fat physique disappear, brick by brick. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I'll see you next time.